Photographs capture moments in time that we want to remember, cherish, and hold on to forever. A graduation, a wedding, a newborn, fun times with family and friends, things that you don't ever want to forget. But some photos, no matter how innocuous they may seem, can have disturbing or downright sinister stories behind them. This is 5 photos with disturbing backstories. This first photo looks like any other high school class photo of the time, right? At first glance it does. My high school class photo from around the same time looks just like this one. But if you take a closer look, you'll understand why this isn't just any other high school class photo. This is the senior class of 1999 at Columbine High School. If you look closely in the top left corner of the photograph, something very unsettling can be seen. This is Eric Harris and Dylan Klebold, the perpetrators of the Columbine High School massacre, miming with invisible weapons and foreshadowing the events that would take place on the morning of April 20th, 1999. On that morning, Harris and Klebold would commit, at that time, the deadliest school shooting in the history of the United States. There were 13 victims, 12 students and 1 teacher. Harris and Klebold would then take their own lives, bringing the total to 15. The Columbine High School massacre is one of the most well-known and well-documented stories of its kind. There's a ton of information online and elsewhere if you would like to learn more. Just one look at this photograph and you just know that there's something very wrong here. This young woman was Regina K. Walters. She was one of the many victims of serial killer Robert Benjamin Rhodes, also known as the truck stop killer. This photo is believed to have been taken very shortly before Rhodes ended Regina's life. Regina and her boyfriend Ricky Lee Jones were runaways from Pasadena, Texas, and it is believed that Robert Benjamin Rhodes picked up the two in his truck, disposed of Jones right away, and kept Regina prisoner for quite some time before ending her life as well. Robert Benjamin Rhodes was finally apprehended on April 1st, 1990, and convicted of the murder of Regina K. Walters, her boyfriend Ricky Lee Jones, as well as others dating back to 1975. This is just one of the photos found by police that Rhodes took of Regina and his other victims. Rhodes is currently serving a life sentence without the possibility of parole at an Illinois prison. Here we have a very standard basketball card from the early 90s. The player featured is Mark Jackson, who played for the New York Knicks at the time. But that isn't the disturbing part. If you look closely at the crowd of people watching the game, right there in the front row are the Menendez brothers. Lyle and Eric Menendez were convicted of killing both of their parents in the summer of 1989. While on trial, the prosecution claimed that the brothers committed the murders to inherit their parents' lavish multi-million-dollar estate. Lyle and Eric, however, claimed the reason for killing their parents was due to the years of abuse that the brothers suffered at the hands of them. Lyle and Eric went on to claim that they feared for their lives due to the abuse, and that was the reason why they killed their parents. However, after a mistrial and then finally a second trial, Lyle and Eric Menendez were found guilty, were convicted of first-degree murder and conspiracy to commit murder. Both were sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. Despite many appeal attempts, Lyle and Eric Menendez remain in a California prison to this day. This may look like just a silly photo. We all have goofy pictures in our collections. But what is actually happening here is much more scary. These are the McKilkin brothers, Michael and Sean. While hiking in Morro Rock, California in 1975, their sister Mary snapped this photo of her brothers with grins on their faces and their hair standing straight up. Little did they know what was really happening. Moments after this photo was taken, the brothers were struck by lightning. Thankfully, all 3 of the siblings survived the ordeal. Years later, when asked about the incident, Michael recalls the blinding light, the deafening explosions, and the feeling of being lifted off the ground by the sheer power of the strike. For decades since, this photo has been a stern reminder for everyone to be as safe as possible and to take all the proper precautions while outside during storms. Here we have a father and his young child enjoying a lovely day out on the streets of Omagh, Northern Ireland. this lovely day would turn out to be anything but. Take a look at the red car in the photo. Unbeknownst to the father, his child, the photographer, or anyone else on the streets that day, this red car houses a bomb. Planted there by the real IRA, a splinter group of the IRA, targeting a courthouse after opposing a ceasefire. At 3:10 BST on August 15, 1998, the bomb in this red car detonates, killing 29 and injuring over 300 more, making it the deadliest incident during the Troubles in Northern Ireland. Miraculously, the father and the child in this photo survived the bombing. Unfortunately, the photographer did not. Thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to see more videos like this, let me know. And if you have any ideas for other videos, let me know that as well. So until next time, this has been the Grimoire.